just found this game. I'm really excited to share it with you because the art is so cute. I've only played about a minute of it to look at it, and other than that, you're gonna see this all for the first time with me, so let's go. Beware evildoers, for I am Rosemary, the Night of Winter. Or should it be the Blade of Winter? Or maybe the Rose of Winter? Doesn't that sound impressive? You know, a symbol of hope bursting through the ice. That's good, right? I mean, it's not too completely embarrassing, is it? Oh well, I'll figure out a good knightly sounding title someday. My actual name is Rosemary, which isn't very knightish. And as for that Blade of Winter thing, well, I'm in a place where it's been snowing a lot, and you know, to be honest, I just think it sounds cool. Cool stuff doesn't have to make sense, right? Anyway, about a year ago, I left my family's farm to fulfill my duty and become a knight. Sounds pretty amazing, right? I thought so too. By the way, I realize I haven't mentioned it. This is a dating sim, not actually fun, fun still, but not like an all-out fantasy battling game. More so, knight rescuing the princes. So far though, I've just been doing odd jobs for gold wherever I can find them. I've slain the occasional beast and rescued plenty of cats from trees. It's not exactly what I expected, but at least I'm making a living. I guess that makes me more of a mercenary than a real knight. But hey, I've got a cool suit of armor and my trusty sword, so I'm almost there. I hate to admit it, but it's harder to become a knight than I thought. I'll always keep trying though. I love her face. My travels eventually brought me to this tavern at the foot of Mount Needle. You wouldn't know it from how cozy it is in here, but the mountains outside is the mountain, singular, outside is super dangerous. Mount Needle, so named for the freezing winds that pierce your very skin, crawling with deadly beasts that hunger for human flesh. Only the bravest of the brave dare to venture here. Doesn't that sound like the perfect place for an aspiring knight to find her destiny? Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, now that I'm here, I've got to find a job, and fast. I spent the last of my gold getting a room at this tavern. Planning ahead isn't exactly my strong suit. Luckily, the tavern has plenty of postings for mercenaries. I mean, knights like me. It shouldn't be hard to find a job here. See, beyond Mount Needle lies Starlight City, one of the most beautiful and prosperous places in the world. People from all kingdoms gather there for important business. To get there, you can either travel by boat for days actually makes me feel small. He turns his fierce gaze down on me, and my mind goes blank. Really? Here we go. He turns his fierce gaze down on me, and my mind goes blank. I blurt out the first thing I think of. Aren't you gonna be cold?
What?
Your armor, it's not giving you a lot of coverage, and Mount Needle can get chilly. Well, more than chilly, it's freezing, so I'm just worried you might be, he needs a sweater. Baby needs a sweater.
Excuse me?
His deep, booming voice shakes the floor. Everyone in the tavern falls dead silent and looks at us. I know right away that I've messed up. I'm so sorry. I just blurted out whatever I was thinking. I was looking at your chest. Your armor, and never mind. Please, just let me start again. Hello, Prince Kuya. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Rosemary, and...
Rosemary, is this your first time meeting a son of Moonforest?
Yes, sir. To be honest, I hardly know a thing about you, or your people, or how to address you, or anything. I apologize if I've offended you, sincerely.
You know nothing. Truly nothing. Very well then, I shall educate you. Rosemary, you speak to a great hunter prince. These clothes were bestowed upon me as proof of my great skill and endless triumph. It makes me laugh to hear your question. It makes me laugh to hear you question them. Haha, see? I am laughing. I'd be offended if I thought you were clever enough to intend your words as insults, but you are clearly just ignorant of civilized ways. I knew you outsiders were weak and tiny, but I had no idea the extent of your inferiority. Haha. For your information, we hunter princes brave much harsher conditions. Brave much harsher conditions than this pitiful mountain. The cold is nothing to us. You outsiders need to be swaddled like infants when faced with a little snow, but I assure you, I am made of stronger stuff. These clothes are sufficient, and I'll not hear another word about them.
His words sting, and it's hard to ignore the people staring at us. But the first thing I said to him, the very first thing, was an insult to his clothing, which is obviously special to him. I should have known better. As such, I really don't have the right to argue. I'll just have to grin and bear it for now. Yes, Prince Kuya.
And another thing, you do not call me by my name. Address me only as Your Mightiness, or don't speak to me at all.
Yes, Your Mightiness. He looks away and is silent for what feels like a long time. Have I really offended him so deeply? I can't believe it. 5 minutes into this job and I'm already blowing it. Some night I am.
Sorry for yelling.
Uh-huh.
Never mind. Come along, Rosemary. We have a long journey ahead of us. I'd hoped for a more formidable companion, but when in the land of lonely outsiders, even a prince must make do.
You don't have to worry, I promise. I'm pretty strong. Maybe I'm not as tall as you, Prince Kuya, but... Whoops, Do
not make me repeat myself. I told you to address me as Your Magnificence.
No, he said Your Mightiness. I know this stuff, because I listen, because he's cool, and he's worth listening to. I'm pretty sure you said I should call you Your Mightiness.
Oh, did I? Don't question me. I'm not... Both are correct. Yes, that's it. Aren't you smart enough to figure that out?
I'm not one to lose my temper, but this is annoying. It's not my fault he can't keep track of his own stupid title. I love her grouchy face right there, and his teeth are my favorite. I decide to keep that thought to myself, though. It's something in his expression. It isn't that I'm too scared to defy him, it's more like, will I hurt his feelings if I keep arguing? I think he's embarrassed that I called him out. It's kind of adorable, in an obnoxious way. Okay, that makes sense. I'll remember that, Your Mighty Magnificence.
Good. Thank you. So, Rosemary, you fancy yourself strong, do you? How amusing.
I don't fancy myself anything, I just...
You'll think differently once you see the strength of a true hunter prince in action. Now, let us be off.
What's this guy's deal? It's not like I claim to be stronger than him or anything. I don't really care which of us is stronger. At least, not as much as he does. Oh well, he's paying me to take him across the mountain, and like Mother always said, any job that pays is a good one. This job, though, I have a bad feeling about it. I hope I'm not in over my head. After an hour of walking, we've made good progress up the mountain. The sky is clouded over, though, and the snow is already falling fast. The weather might clear up as the day goes on, but it's more likely that things will only get worse from here. Also, I can't help but notice that Kuya is shivering in the cold. It's taking every ounce of my willpower not to comment. That baby needs a sweater. Do you think we should make camp early? I'm worried about the snow.
Snow like this? It is nothing. Less than nothing. I am Great Hunter Prince Kuya. Do you know, outsider, that I once destroyed an entire forest with nothing but my bare teeth and claws? That way, our enemy soldiers had no trees in which to hide. Such is the raw and brutal power we hunters possess.
I don't see what that has to do with anything, but there's no point in asking. He's just gonna keep on talking.
That is why I'm going to Starlight City. I must represent Moonforest in our yearly council with the outsider kings and queens. I have 5 older siblings, and usually my elder siblings represent our kingdom, but this year I was chosen. They may be older than I am, but only I am a great hunter prince.
I've actually heard stories about the great hunters of Moonforest, although I don't remember any details. Hearing about them might be interesting, much as I hate to admit it.
Not just anyone can be
Oh, he's telling her anyway.
Not just anyone can become a hunter, you know. We are specially chosen to join the Great Hunt. Only the bravest and strongest can handle it. My elder siblings weren't worthy, but I succeeded where they failed.
They didn't want to go, obviously.
The Great Hunts are sacred. Every year, in the season of dusk, we ride through the forest for 13 nights. Hunters don't stop to sleep, eat, or even to rest. We focus on our quarry. We return only when we have subdued the rarest and most elusive of prey, like the silver stag or the winged wolf. Riding home with their pelts around our shoulders, we are treated like kings. No, better than kings. With great feasts of golden apples and wine ever pouring, we hunters are not only the guardians of Moonforest, we are also its glory and its pride.
That sounds great, Your Magnificence.
It is the highest honor, more wonderful and wild than your puny mind can imagine. Ha! I bet you wouldn't last an hour into the first evening of a great hunt. I'm surprised you were even made a knight, although you might be considered strong by pitiful outsider standards.
Actually, I'm not really a knight. I mean, like, not officially.
Ha! Ha ha ha! I should have guessed. Look at you, with your fluffy little mane, no claws, no fangs.
Her fluffy little mane.
Pathetic. Ha ha ha.
Okay, first of all,
Ah! Achoo.
that was a sneeze, wasn't it? I knew it. I knew you were gonna catch a cold in that outfit.
What? No, that was a battle cry. Great hunters don't sneeze. We, achoo.
Whatever you say, Your Magnificence.
I grab my pack and pull out a small piece of bread wrapped in leaves.
Here, eat this.
Why? Is this some kind of trick?
No, silly, it's a snack. If you eat more, your body will have more energy to keep itself warm. I know it's not much, but it might help.
Though he still looks a bit suspicious, Kuya takes the bread from me and gives it a tiny nibble. I hate to admit it, but it's awfully cute.
This is delicious.
Good. Does it help? Do you feel warmer?
Well, I wasn't actually cold, remember? But maybe a little.
I'm glad to hear it.
Why are you being so nice to me?
We have the options. I'm not sure. You don't really deserve it, or because it's the right thing to do. I love the first option a lot. But he totally deserves it. I want there to be an option because you deserve it, not you don't really deserve it or because it's the right thing to do. Who cares about the right thing to do? He's a small and precious being. He deserves it. But we'll go with the closer of the options.
Why wouldn't I want to help you? It's kind of my job, and besides, that's what knights are supposed to do, right? Help people in need? I wouldn't be very heroic otherwise.
Well, of course, we great hunters are very heroic too, so thank you, Rosemary. This delicious tiny bread snack was worthy of a mighty warrior.
Wow, that's not a compliment I ever expected to hear, but you're very welcome. It's almost a nice moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't last. As soon as we start walking, he starts going on about his adventures again. It feels like he's been talking nonstop for hours. I knew Mount Needle was bad, but I didn't think the journey would be this painful.
And so, everyone thought I was done for, but really, I was only playing dead to fool the dire bear. At the very last moment, I roared back to life and sliced the bear's head off with just one of my claws. Everyone cheered and thanked me for saving the village, but really, I don't do it for thanks. I do it because it is my honor as a son of Moonforest and a hunter prince.
He grins at me, trying to gauge how much I enjoyed his story. I smile back at him, hoping it looks sincere. Now that I think about it, this might be a chance to connect with him. I have plenty of stories like that from my own travels. Maybe if we become better friends, he'll be more fun to talk to. You know, I came across a dire bear on my travels too. It sounds like mine wasn't as big as yours, but it was pretty hefty. It had been wandering around the edges of town, and it was scaring this one guy's goats, so he hired me to...
Rosemary, please, does this story have a point?
I just thought you might want to hear about some of my stories too.
Do you really think your little errands can compare with the tales of a great prince of Moonforest?
Well, it's true that the goat story wasn't that exciting. It's a you had to be there thing. But I swear, if I have to hear the words Great Prince of Moonforest one more time, I'm going to explode. No job is worth putting up with this. Okay, calm down, Rosemary. Calm down. Get the Pena sweater and move on. Let's just forget about it. Do you want to take a break soon? There's a river nearby, so we can grab some water and rest a bit before moving on.
I could keep walking for hours, easily. But if you're tired, I suppose I could. What's that?
Huh? What's going on? Did you see a monster? I've got my sword. I'm ready to fight if...
No, look, my cloak. It's got a huge stain on it. And look, one of my shoulder spikes got dented. When did that happen? We've only been walking a few hours.
Huh? Jeez, from the way you screamed, I thought we were in danger.
I did not scream. I bellowed a mighty roar of fury. Look at this mess.
I guess, but that tends to happen when you're hiking up a deadly mountain. Hasn't your cloak gotten ripped or stained on your hunts before?
Well, obviously, yes, of course. But it's only gotten stained with the blood of deadly beasts. This is mud, a totally different thing. You said there was a river nearby, yes? Let's stop here so I can wash it. Hurry.
Whatever you say, Your Mightiness. Secret precious bean. And so we stop for a rest. There's a small cave nearby that we duck into to get out of the snow. I get some food out of my pack, ready to offer it to Kuya, but he's too busy worrying about his dumb cloak. It's not dumb, it's beautiful.
Look at this. Practically ruined, and I paid so much for it too.
I thought you earned it from heroically slaying monsters and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. I paid for it with my heroic slayings. Ugh, you outsiders are so thick-headed. Do I have to explain everything to you? I think this is salvageable. I'm going to go out to the river to see if I can clean it off. Stay right here and don't touch anything.
It's a cave. Why would I be touching stuff? Kuya doesn't listen to me. He just goes storming off. Well, let him throw his tantrum, I guess. It's strange to see such a big tough warrior guy get so upset over a little stain on his cloak and a scratch on his armor. Then again, I shouldn't be so quick to judge. I'm already upset. I already upset him once by making light of what he's wearing. It's obviously really important to him. It's my own fault. had for a moment of silence and solitude. It's nice to catch my breath and not be yelled at for a little while. That's gonna end real quick. But a little while turns into a long while. Oh, never mind. And I start to get worried. Kuya's been gone for 20 minutes now. How long does it take to wash his stain out of a cloak anyway? What if something happened to him? It was stupid of me to let him go out there alone. No matter how big he is, he's still a prince, and it's my job to protect him. Maybe he got eaten by a bear. How would I explain that to the Moon Forest royal family? Sorry I let your youngest son go out on a deadly mountain by himself for no reason at all. I tell myself to calm down and that Kuya's probably fine as I hurry out of the cave to look for him. It doesn't take me long to reach the riverside. No sign of Kuya though. Oh no, what if something really did happen to him?
Your Magnificence, are you okay? Hello?
I catch sight of Kuya's cloak and armor, lying neatly folded on a smooth rock beside the river's edge. So if Kuya's clothes are here, where is he?
Rosemary?
Precious baby! Oh goodness. I'm speechless. I knew Kuya was a big muscular guy, but suddenly I'm seeing his actual body and I'm overwhelmed. He's beautiful. I never thought I'd use that word to describe Kuya, but no other word would do him justice. I literally can't take my eyes off him. I want to memorize every detail so I can keep coming back to this image in my mind. After a moment, though, the reality of the situation hits me all at once.
Oh wait, no, that's him.
Just gotta do it on the other side of the mic.
What are you doing here? Why are you looking at me?
It's not like I was trying to. You're the one who took your clothes off for no reason. Why did you do that?
Isn't it obvious? I washed them, and then I realized I was dirty too, so I took them off to bathe in the river.
You wanted to bathe in a freezing river completely naked on a snow-covered mountain by yourself? What's wrong with you? You'll get frostbite and die. Don't you have any common sense at all?
I told you, I'm a great hunter prince and I don't feel the cold. Oh, why do I bother trying to explain myself to a lowly pleasant?
Lowly pleasant. She is a pleasant.
Like you. I'll do what I please and...
Kuya slips and my heart stops beating. He's about to fall back into the freezing water. If I don't act soon, he'll be swept away by the river, and then there won't be anything I can do to help him. Time stands still. I move without thinking, closing the distance between us as fast as I can. I throw my hands around his waist and pull him sharply away from the riverbank. The good news is I managed to drag him to safety just in time. The bad news is, in doing so, I pressed him against me and get a face full of Kuya's naked chest. I stay like that for a moment, stunned. His body is so smooth and firm and surprisingly warm. I guess it's not really such bad news after all.
Rosemary?
What?
You're touching my chest a lot.
So I am. Goodness, what a situation. Let me just go ahead and stop doing that.
I step away very carefully. I kind of wish I didn't have to.
Wait,
What am I thinking? This is Kuya, the biggest jerk in the world. But even jerks can have nice chests, right?
Well, I've never been more embarrassed in my life.
yes, me too.
To be honest, I'm feeling a lot more than just embarrassed, but I'd rather die than let him know that. I avert my eyes and he goes to put his clothes back on.
There, see? I cleaned the stain out of the cloak and hammered the dent out of the spikes.
After that, I have no idea what to say.
I know this is an awkward situation, and I'd rather forget it completely. But, Rosemary, do you think it looks okay?
Oh, what's that? I couldn't hear what you just said.
I said, do you think it looks okay?
What? Your outfit?
Well, yes, I went through all that trouble to get it to look nice again. What do you think?
I take a step back to get a look at him. I want to answer honestly.
She looks so determined, I love it.
It'd be really satisfying to tell him he looks like an idiot, but the truth is, I'm a sucker for cool-looking armor, and I love the spikes and flowing cloak. I wonder if my armor would look good with a few spikes.
Yes, it course I do. I always look magnificent, don't I?
Alright, don't push it. I was gonna say, I think your spikes are pretty neat. Maybe I could put something like that on my armor too.
Yeah, and then we would match. Or we would if you weren't vastly inferior to me in every other way.
Hey, watch it. Don't forget who saved you from freezing to death just now.
Thank you.
What's that?
Never mind, you are infuriating. Let's just keep going.
And so we gather our supplies and keep walking. I'm glad we're moving again because it gives me something to think about besides Kuya without any clothes on. Oh, who am I kidding? I can't stop thinking about it. I don't even want to stop thinking about it, but I have to. It's Kuya. I don't care how hot he is. He's a big, mean, blowhard jerk. Okay, I care a little about how hot he is. And if he's totally awful, why do I feel so conflicted about it? Why can't I just enjoy his hotness and move on? I guess it's because in a few small moments, he's shown me something different. When he's vulnerable, he's kinda nice to me, or at least I get a glimpse of something more underneath all that bluster. If you were like that more often, maybe. There's no use in wishing for something that's never going to happen. No matter how nice it is to think about, I've got to forget Kuya's hot, hot body. Although it's nice to distract myself with those memories while the real Kuya is ranting at me.
And anyway, you outsiders don't even have any horns. I thought they must just be really small and under your hair. But no horns at all. Do you have any idea how ridiculous you look? I almost feel sorry for you. How do you strike fear into the very souls of your enemies?
Are you gonna be like this the whole way?
Why are you so intimidated by my greatness?
No! You are so full of yourself. I can't believe I thought I saw something deeper in you for even like one tiny second. At least now I know for sure that looks aren't everything.
Wait, what? You saw something in me?
Wow, I really don't want to get into this. Before I can say anything, the wind picks up and starts to howl. The snow thickens into heavy sheets. I can hardly see anything in front of me. There's no time to argue. I have to deal with this first. Thank goodness.
Your Mightiness, can you hear me? I know we've only been walking again for a little while, but we need to stop and find shelter for the night.
Are you so easily defeated by a little wind and cold? It is still light out, and we just took a break. But if you're tired again already, I'd be happy to carry you the rest of the way.
For goodness sake, can you stop? If we keep going in this weather, we'll both get lost or catch our death of cold. Trust me, I've crossed mountains before. The smartest thing to do is...
I've crossed mountains too. Do you really think you know better than me? Don't make me laugh. Haha.
Honestly, I've had just about enough of this guy. It takes a lot to push me over the edge, but I want to get this over with and get out of the stinging cold.
Prince Kuya, shut up. It's like you can't even open your stupid mouth without saying something mean to me. And for what? All I'm doing is trying to help you. You're acting like a bratty child, and I am sick of it. Look, you hired me to be your guide across this mountain, not as some servant who you can push around, but you still won't take any of my advice or listen to a word I say. Why did you even hire a guide at all if you think you're so superior? You may not think so, but I actually know what I'm doing, okay? Probably more than you do. But if you're not going to listen to me, I should just leave you to die alone on this mountain, for real this time. No, you will not.
There's a thick veil of snow around Kuya, blurring his features. He doesn't answer at first, but comes closer to me, moving with strong and purposeful strides. I almost forgot how large he is. He towers over me easily. Now that he's closer, I can see his face more clearly. He looks angrier than I've ever seen him. The sight of it shocks me into silence. If I weren't trembling with anger myself, I'd wonder if I'd gone too far. When he finally speaks, his voice has a hard edge to it, a vicious growl that seems to shake the earth, even through layers of snow.
How dare you? How dare you? You speak to me as if you were a child. I am not a child. You truly believe that I need you. You, a lowly outsider, weak and pathetic like an infant. What possible use could I have for you? If you knew what I was, you'd beg to serve me. I am the great Kuya, who once tore the throat out of a wolf drake with my bare hands. I was only a baby. It was my first kill, the one that marked me for greatness for life. I laugh to think of what your first kill must have been, if you ever even had one.
It was probably the time a mouse got into the kitchen when Father was making breakfast and I hit it with a frying pan. Don't hurt mice, Rosemary. Bad Rosemary. But now it doesn't seem like a great time for that story. Kuya is shouting now. He's lost all sense of what's around him, his fangs and claws bared in fury. I face his rage head-on without flinching, seeing him like this with his wild mane whipped in the wind, his muscles rippling, those sharp teeth so huge and frightening. I've been thinking about Kuya as a big blowhard, but it occurs to me for the first time that these stories of his might actually be true. He really does look like a barbarian prince, one who could rip the throat out of a wolf drake or level a forest with his bare claws. No.
So? Are you so pitiful that you have nothing to say in response? Well, that is to be expected, isn't it? A pathetic outsider with nothing to do or say.
Why did you even bring me along if you hate me so much?
Hate you? But I don't...
In the next instant, our argument comes to an end. We both realize that there's a bigger problem in front of us. Blushy Kuya. A great and terrifying beast emerges from the swirling snow. A tremendous boar covered with dense black hair as sharp and thick as nails, with a set of cruel tusks as long as my arm. A Mount Needle razorback. I remember reading about them in one of my old books. My blood turns cold at the sight of it. These beasts don't normally attack humans unprovoked, but loud sounds can trigger them into a rampage. This one must have heard Kuya and I while we were shouting at each other. The razorback saunters toward us, its tusk lowered in an attack position. I grab Kuya's arm and speak in a low whisper.
Your Mightiness, I've read about those things and they're very dangerous. Even if we both try to fight it, we might not make it out alive. If we back away slowly, we can escape and find shelter without provoking it to charge.
Rosemary, do not insult me. I'm a hunter prince. I can handle this foul beast myself.
Kuya's voice shakes violently, with fear or with cold, I can't tell. All I know is we'd be idiots to fight this thing, and the longer we go without running, the less chance we have of escaping. I remember reading something about it having one very odd, surprising weakness, but it was just a footnote in a book. I can't for the life of me think of it now.
Please, if you've ever listened to me, listen to me now. This isn't about how strong you are. That thing's hide is like steel, I guess. And its tusks could rip through you in less than a second. Even the strongest person in the world couldn't fight it.
Let me handle this. I know I can do it. Please trust me.
It's not crazy to think that Kuya might be a match for that thing, but I can't shake the feeling that he's in over his head. I don't know what to do, but it's too late anyway. The razorback lurches forward to charge right at us. I'll have to make a decision now or we'll both be dead.
Yeah.
We have the options: let Kuya fight the razorback alone, or leap in front of Kuya to protect him, and we're jumping in front.
I don't care how strong. Oh, no, this is in her head.
I don't care how strong Prince Kuya is. He hired me to protect him, and that's what I'm going to do. I leap in front of him and swing my sword out in a wild arc. My sword scratches the razorback's nose. It squeals angrily and veers off, but only for a moment.
You hit it. You actually hit it.
Just a tiny scratch. I think it was more surprise than hurt. Don't celebrate yet.
The razorback changes course and comes thundering at us, angrier than ever. I don't think a simple scratch will stop it this time. I really wish I could remember that secret weak spot, but I can't, so I'll have to improvise.
Hold on tight.
What?
I'm not so sure if I can do this. Sorry, I keep giggling. The art's really cute. I'm not sure if I can do this, but I have to try. As quick as I can, I sheathe my sword and take Kuya into my arms. He's heavy, but I can manage it. I hold on to him tightly as I can and leap into the air an instant before the razorback hits us. Whew. Against all odds, I jump clear over the beast. I know I shouldn't care about this stuff right now, but a part of me wonders if I look cool. We land safely in the snow, while the razorback searches furiously for where we disappeared to.
Rosemary, that was incredible.
We're not out of the woods yet. It just spotted us.
The razorback comes charging again. I leap deftly aside, just barely out of range of those tusks. The beast keeps coming and I keep darting away. My body moves on instinct. I think of nothing but keeping Kuya safe. The razorback and I are caught in a strange little dance. It hasn't hit me yet, but I don't have an escape plan either. I know I can't keep this up for much longer. With every leap I get a little more tired, and Kuya feels a little heavier in my arms. I have to end this quickly or the razorback will end it for me. When it charges again, this time I don't leap aside right away. I stand my ground until the razorback is almost on top of me. Kuya's arms tighten around my shoulders. I can tell he's scared, but I know what I'm doing. I need to be as close as possible if I'm going to hit my target. Just before collision, I step aside only slightly, so that the great boar comes charging past me. It's so close I can feel the brush of its hair against my skin. Without wasting a breath, I jab my sword into its face, hoping against hope that I hit the right spot. I hear a great squeal of pain. I leap away, putting as much distance between us and the beast as possible.
What did you do? Did you hit it?
There's blood on my sword, so yeah, I guess I did.
What good will that do? A little scratch won't kill it.
Dummy, I'm not trying to kill it. I hit it square in the eye. It's half blind.
Sure enough, the razorback is squealing angrily, rubbing its bleeding eye in the snow. For the moment, it seems to have forgotten us. Poor baby.
Ooh, that makes sense, but to have hit such a small spot on a moving target, that's impossible. I can't believe you pulled it off.
Just takes practice.
The razorback squeals again. What a horrible noise. It seems to have caught sight of us with its one good eye. It must be angrier than ever. Time to go. I rush off, holding tight to Kuya. Behind me, I can hear the thundering of beats of the razorback, but it's losing blood now and can't keep track of us so easily. Eventually, the sound dies down, fading into nothing. We lost it. We're safe. I'm not sure how long I've been running. When we break out into a small, silent clearing, I finally feel like we can stop. Carefully, I set Kuya down and double over to catch my breath.
Rosemary, that was so cool.
What? Cool? Really?
Thank you for saving me. I'm sorry I didn't do much.
I told you couldn't have done much more than I did, and it's my job to watch your back. Besides, we only barely escaped, and we'll have to be careful not to run into that thing again. An angry, half-blind razorback with a grudge is bad news. But you're very welcome, Your Magnificence.
Cute.
We decide to make camp in a cave nearby since we're both pretty wiped out. For once in his life, Kuya is pretty quiet. He seems eager to help set up too. It's weird, but not unwelcome. I settle down for dinner by the fire. I have some hard bread and jerky in my bag. Oh, sorry, I was quiet there for a second. I just got a wave of lightheadedness. I think I'm really tired. Kuya doesn't have anything. He must be hungry.
Your Magnificence, you can have some of my food if you want.
The great hunters of Moonforest say the only proper way to feast is to kill the strongest animal you can find and devour its flesh right then and there. If the blood is still hot, it joins with yours, and you can feel the very heat of the beast pound in your in your veins.
I'm pretty sure that's not how eating works, but if those are his ways, who am I to argue? I shrug and settle down to eat. I can't help but notice Kuya staring at my meal, though. I can even hear his stomach grumble.
Although, I suppose you outsiders consider it rude to refuse to share meals. That's why you're looking at me like that, isn't it?
I'm not looking at you?
If you insist, I suppose I could break tradition, just this once.
He grabs a piece of hard bread from my bag and devours it.
He could have just said he wanted to share. Whatever you say, Your Mightiness.
You know, Rosemary, I've been thinking. I don't think you should have to call me by those titles anymore. I mean, it's silly, isn't it?
Oh, really? Why the sudden change of heart?
It's not a change of heart, it's just... In Moonforest, when two hunters slay a beast together, they become brothers. That's, the rule. It's not proper for one brother to consider himself superior to another. And since we slayed a beast together, you are my brother now. Sister. Anyway, we're equals.
I think your definition of slaying a beast must be pretty liberal. But okay, that works for me. Shall I call you Prince Kuya now?
No, just Kuya. I mean, if you don't mind.
Okay, Kuya.
He finishes his bread in silence, hardly even looking at me. It's not like he's ignoring me, though. More like he's suddenly shy. But why would he be so timid all of a sudden? I just can't figure this guy out.
Rosemary? Do you remember how you were telling me about how you had to fight a dire bear once? I'd like to hear the rest of that story if you don't mind.
Really? I mean, I guess I could, but why would you want to know that? You're right, it's not a very interesting story. I never even fought the dire bear.
Please, tell me anyway.
Okay, let's see. There was this dire bear, but you know that already. Anyway, it was hanging around the edge of a small village and scaring this one guy's herd of goats, but because it hadn't actually done anything, we thought it was a shame to kill it. So instead, the goat herd's wife made me this hat that made me look like I had goat horns. It was pretty silly. I went to the woods and started making those goat noises, you know, the bleating, and the dire bear followed the sound into the woods. I managed to lead it far enough away that it never bothered those goats again. But the goat herd and his wife thought it was hilarious. They laughed and laughed at me, calling me stuff like Lady Bleats a lot. But they gave me plenty of cheese to take with me when I left, so I guess they were alright.
When I finish the story, I cringe a little. Definitely a you had to be there thing. But to my surprise...
That is, without a doubt, the funniest story I've ever heard. Rosemary, you're incredible, a great fighter, and a marvelous storyteller. Is there anything you can't do? Ha 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 ha.
Laying it on a little thick there, isn't he? I'm starting to get freaked out. What's this guy's angle? I have to keep my wits about me in case he tries anything.
No, he just has a crush on you. I didn't think it was that funny, but thank you, I guess.
Kuya finally stops laughing after a few minutes and wipes tears out of his eyes. Then he just stares at me with his puppy dog eyes for what feels like way too long.
You know, your hair is very pretty in the firelight.
Okay, time to change the subject.
Thanks. So, what about you?
What about me?
Well, you've told me plenty of stories already about, like, killing monsters, great hunts, and destroying enemy armies and stuff like... That can't be all you do, right? I mean, like, what's your day-to-day life like? Tell me about Moonforest. It's pretty much a mystery to me.
Oh, that, well...
To my surprise, he seems reluctant to talk about it.
Moonforest is small. Smaller than most kingdoms, I'm told. All the families are familiar with each other, even the royal family, for better or for worse. It's thick with trees and in constant twilight, even in the daytime. No one knows why. It might be some ancient magic baked deep into the land.
So it's always dark outside? Forever?
Sounds beautiful or sounds terrible? I think it sounds beautiful because I'm a night person.
It is. Very beautiful. I'm glad you think so.
Oh, why is that?
Nothing. Never mind.
His voice, wistful and lonely, drifts off with those words. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. For a moment, there's only the sound of the crackling fire. Why in the world is he acting this way? It really isn't like him.
It sounds like you love it there.
Parts of it are nice, yes. The trees are much larger in Moonforest. They're purple and reach farther into the sky than you can see, fading into mist. The shadows seem to fold around them like blankets.
It's a cute metaphor.
And there's the silver grass that comes up to your knees, soft as feathers, and always full of fireflies. Those are the parts I like.
Are you maybe a little homesick?
What? Absolutely not. I'm not a child, you know.
And
It's not childish to miss your home. I think about the farm a lot. I mean, I'm happy to be out here doing what I'm doing, but it's natural to miss the place you grew up in, right?
I guess so, but I don't always miss the people. My siblings, they're all older than me, and I'm an adult, but I'll always be a little brother to them.
Well, that's hard to believe. Nothing about you is little. I think you're the scariest looking guy I've ever met. In a good way, of course.
You really mean that?
Totally. And you're a legendary hunter prince anyway. If you start to get down on yourself, just remember all your awesomely heroic feats and stuff.
Right, my heroic feats. Rosemary, can I ask you something? Something personal?
His voice is low, soft, barely audible. I've never heard him talk like this before.
Sure, Kuya. Anything, I guess.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Wow.
What? Where did that come from?
Nothing, never mind. Forget it, I didn't say anything.
Kuya, wait, you just caught me off guard is all.
No, shut up, that's enough for not talking about this.
Kuya, are you crying a little?
A great hunter prince of Moonforest does not cry. How dare you even ask me that? Who do you think you are?
I'm pretty sure I saw tears in his eyes, though.
You're just a lowly outsider. You know nothing. Nothing at all.
Calm down, I didn't mean to.
Enough, go to sleep. That's an order. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow, and I won't have you keeping me awake with any more nonsense. Good night.
And with that, Kuya flops down dramatically and pulls his blanket up over his head. Within seconds, he's snoring way too loud for it to be real. To be honest, I have no idea what to think. He's obviously not going to say anything more tonight. I lie down, but I'm too surprised and bewildered to fall asleep right away. I stare at Kuya as he sleeps beside me, wondering what exactly is going on in his head. If he'd just let me answer him, I'd have told him I don't have a boyfriend. I guess that means he doesn't have anyone either. In spite of myself, I can't think about how good he looked today. I'd be crazy to think about Kuya that way, right? Even if he wasn't so annoying, he'd still be from a totally different world. Then again, when I saw how hot he was, I wished he'd be nicer to me too. After we fought the Razorback, he was nicer for a little while. Isn't that exactly what I'd been hoping for? I do eventually drift off to sleep.
Oh, cute.
And when I wake in the next morning, I feel strangely cheerful. Maybe now that we've both had time to sleep on it, he's calmed down. I roll over to ask him if he was really serious about the boyfriend thing, but his blanket lies flat on the hard earth. Kuya is gone. Maybe he got up to get breakfast or tried to do something stupid like take an ice bath again, but right away it feels wrong to me. I stand up, suddenly wide awake, and grab my sword. Outside of camp, there are signs of struggle, and my heart grows cold. Claw marks on the trees, scuffled footprints in the snow. It looks like Kuya was dragged away, but Kuya is a huge and powerful hunter prince, right? What could possibly be strong enough to have done this to him? I know it doesn't make much sense, but my first thought is of the Razorback. But that can't be. How could a giant half-blind boar have found us and dragged Kuya away, all without waking me up? What else could it have been, though? Is there some monster on this mountain that we don't even know about? Something powerful and crafty that neither of us could have seen coming.
must be Rosemary, yes?
You're not Kuya?
No, and thank Goddess for that. You are Kuya's babysitter, are you not? I am Princess Caro. I am terribly sorry for my little brother's appalling behavior.
A little...
Thinking again. Little brother. That's right. Kuya has 5 older siblings, doesn't he?
I'm sorry, Princess Caro. I'm not a babysitter. I'm a knight, sort of. I was here to help guide Kuya to Starlight City, but he's gone missing.
Oh, I know all about what little Kuya's been up to. Shameful, isn't it? At least you're calling him by his actual name. He didn't make you refer to him as his awesome lordship of holy greatness or anything ridiculous like that, did he?
No, of course not. Or his mighty magnificence, actually. No, of course not.
Oh, that's a relief. He is the youngest, but really my patience only extends so far. He's an adult. It's really about time he stopped these childish games.
Games? What exactly do you mean?
Oh, you know, play acting, posturing. I'm sure you've had quite enough of it, having spent just one day with him. And you know, it gets all the worse when he's trying to impress a pretty lady. As if any decent woman would be halfway fooled, I'm much less seduced by that childish twaddle. It's like a peacock strutting around, sticking his tail feathers in the face of a hen, ridiculous for civilized folk.
I don't really understand what's going on, but I feel really embarrassed anyway.
Yeah. Who could possibly fall for that? Where's Kuya? Is he okay?
Oh, he's fine. As soon as I found out he had left for Mountain Needle, I went off to bring him back. He's not really suited to a place like this. Did you say he wanted you to take him to Starlight City for the council? Well, that makes sense. He's always been jealous that I get to serve as Moonforester representative and not him. But there's a reason he's never chosen for that task. He just isn't ready for responsibility. And really, this little escapade proves that. Did he honestly believe the council would accept him as an ambassador of Moonforest simply because he was the first one to get there? What a ridiculous notion. Really, he might have died if you weren't here to protect him. I must thank you for keeping our dear little Kuya safe.
Wait, so is Kuya really a great hunter, or...?
Great hunter? Oh, that's amazing. You poor thing. He told you nothing of the truth, did he? Let me bring you up to speed. Where to even start? It must be obvious that our dear Kuya has some real delusions of grandeur. The great hunt and its sacred hunters, all that is part of a legend passed down among Moonforesters for generations. It's a story for children. An exciting story, certainly, but that's all it is. The great hunters may be based on real historical figures, but even so, such barbaric animal slaughter with no regard for balance of nature has long been a thing of the past. We Moonforesters have moved far beyond that now. I suppose it is our own fault being so secretive with our ways that outsiders don't know how we really are. I don't at all blame you for believing Kuya's tall tales of mystical ruffians. But we're a pacifist kingdom now. Our laws focus on a coexistence with a forest that is ethical as well as spiritual, with a mind for conservation. We choose to stay isolated in order to keep the forest a closed and balanced system, with no outside influences to muck things up. We've managed to bring several native moonforest species back from the brink of extinction, you know.
I just stand there, letting the flood of words wash over me. I'd like to say none of it makes sense, but sadly it makes more sense than anything Kuya's told me. Caro seems to notice that I'm staring at her blankly and flashes me an apologetic smile.
Oh, I do hope I haven't been prattling on. I get so excited when I think of Moonforest achievements. I wish outsiders knew more about us. Maybe I'll bring it up at the council this year. All in all, you should know that Kuya's behavior does not represent us. He's probably told you all kinds of stories about his violent deeds.
He said he tore the throat out of a wolf drake for his first kill when he was a baby, and that he once leveled an entire forest of trees with his bare claws.
First kill, preposterous. We haven't celebrated such things in Moonforest for hundreds of years. And the bit about leveling trees. That's from the Tale of Moonbeam, a children's fable. Not being a Moonforester, you wouldn't have heard of it, but most of us grew up with it. Kuya was always especially enthralled with childish tales of heroism. It's rather sad, actually. He's modeled himself after these fictional heroes because he wants to feel big and powerful, I suppose. He was always the runt of the family and was never given much to do around the palace. It isn't that I don't sympathize, mind you, but enough is enough, wouldn't you agree? I can't believe he was wearing that ridiculous warrior getup out here on a freezing mountain. It's bad enough when he wears it to family dinners, but at least there it's only embarrassing. Here he's likely to catch a cold.
How do I know you're telling the truth? It really looks like someone kidnapped him. Maybe you're just telling me all this so I stop trying to find him. Where is he now anyway?
My dear, Kuya did not want to leave your side, but I really didn't want to humor him any longer. He fought me tooth and claw, but I was determined to release you from his burden. Of course, he isn't strong enough to stand a chance against me, so his struggling was rather pointless. If it isn't painfully clear by now, little Kuya couldn't slay a fly. Eventually, I did have to bind his wrists because he kept clawing at the poor trees, trying to get away. Do you know how bad that is for the environment? He did manage to slip away and run off into the woods a moment ago, but I can't imagine he's gotten far. I was about to go looking for him, but then I ran into you.
She doesn't seem worried at all that Kuya is lost on the mountain again. The only thing Karo seems to have in common with their brother is that they're both super condescending.
Well, I'm going to find him. You stay here and wait. I don't need your help to bring him back safely. I don't care if you think he's ridiculous. He's my friend and I care about him, and I want to be the one to make sure he's okay.
That's fine with me, my dear. I'm quite exhausted from hauling around all morning, and I wouldn't mind letting you take over for now. But tell me, now that you know the truth about him, are you really all that surprised? It's adorable that you care about him, but did you ever truly believe he was the great hunter he said he was? I only asked to satisfy my curiosity, mind you. I know you're an outsider, but surely you weren't silly enough to be fooled.
There's no reason to treat him like that, or yes, I never doubted Kuya, not even for a second. There's no reason to treat him like that. I'm not saying Kuya was never immature, but you shouldn't write him off so quickly. It seems to me that he acts the way he does because you all make him feel like he has to. Like, that's the only way you'd ever think he was worth anything. Kuya's not just a runt, he's brave and imaginative, and sweet in his own strange way. If you'd just give him a little attention, you'd see that.
Hey now, that's uncalled for. You know nothing of what it's like in our family home. For all you know, we lavish attention and love on Kuya, and he still acts like a brat.
Maybe that's true, but you can't deny that Kuya acts that way because he just wants someone to believe in him for once. I don't care if Kuya is a great hunter or not. I believe in him anyway. We should really go looking for him.
It's only when I say this out loud that I realize I really do believe in Kuya in spite of it all. I turn away and stride into the forest without giving Karo a chance to respond. It's up to me to find Kuya and bring him back safe. It doesn't take long to find him. It's not snowing, so his footsteps are left uncovered. There, leaning against a boulder with his wrist bound and his head bowed, is Kuya. I approach him carefully and place a hand gently on his shoulder. I expect him to be angry to give me some lecture about how it's improper for a lowly outsider to lay a hand on a hunter prince. Instead, he looks up at me with tears in his eyes. He doesn't bother to try and hide them now.
I guess you talked to my sister, huh? She told you everything?
Yeah, she did. Is it all true?
It is. All of it. I'm sorry I lied to you. It's just, I wanted you to think I was somebody. I want everyone to think that, even though I'm not. I'm just the runt of the family, the one no one wanted. I read those old stories about Moon Forest in the olden days, and I thought there would be nothing better than being a great hunter like that, but if I went on a hunt, I'd probably get killed on the first night.
Good thing it's not real then, huh?
Yeah. I guess I thought that maybe coming out here would make me stronger. I might even slay a beast and win the respect of my people, just like the hunters of the old days. Or at least I'd sneak off to Starlight City for the council, even though they'd never let me attend. Maybe I could prove to them I'm ready for it. But when I met you, I realized you are brave and strong, and I'm nothing like you. But because I'm bigger than you, you couldn't tell how weak I really am. You thought I was a tough guy. No one's ever thought I was anything but a runt, no matter how much I tried to pretend. I got so carried away.
Kuya.
Can you believe it? I actually met a real hero, someone worthy of being a great hunter, and I acted like a mean-spirited, arrogant fool and ruined it. I'm no better than my stupid brothers and sisters. Can you ever forgive me?
Maybe, but you have to do better, or of course, Kuya, I've forgiven you already. Of course, Kuya, I've forgiven you already. I'm glad you're telling me the truth now, and I get it. Sometimes I call myself a knight, even though I'm not yet, because it makes me feel better. It's okay to want to be something more than you are. You took it a little farther than me, but I understand what it's like to need to puff yourself up. I'm glad I know the real you, though. I like him better. He's nicer.
Rosemary, you're too good. I don't deserve to be forgiven so easily. But, you know, since I saw you fight the Razorback, I've been sort of head over heels for you.
I was wondering why you were acting so different all of a sudden, and I hope that was the reason.
Really? Goddess, how did I ever get so lucky? How did I ever get lucky enough to meet you?
Believe it or not, I feel lucky to have met you too. You're very sweet in your own way. Caro doesn't know what a good brother she has.
You know, I think...
This is getting real sappy real fast, by the way.
I think you should get to call yourself a real knight. I can't imagine anyone being better at it than you.
Can you make her a knight? He's a prince. Can you do that? You should be able to do that. You should make her a knight. Kuya looks at me with that big, cute, puppy-like smile of his. Ah, art. Art. Cute art.
I just can't help it anymore. I lean in and kiss him. This is the first time I've ever kissed anyone. I'm glad it's with him. With the snow swirling around us, he is an oasis of warmth. Kuya leans into me and I put my arms around him, drawing him close.
Please, don't take me back to Caro yet. I want to stay like this for as long as possible.
Let's stay here forever then.
This is so cheesy. Oh.
I feel the hard muscles on his chest and arms, rubbing them gently with my bare hands. It's embarrassing to admit, but I'm so glad I finally get to do this.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not really a romance person. I'm more of a comedy and sci-fi person with I love the fantasy aspects, but the romance is getting me a little... whatever.
Moonforesters must all be huge. If a guy as beefy as this could be considered weak. I don't care about that, though. Kuya is perfect to me.
You guys just met.
Oh, Disney. It's not Disney. It feels like Disney. I feel the scrape of his sharp teeth on my lips. He's being really gentle. There's something intoxicating about being so close to those huge fangs, knowing they would never hurt me. The great hunter is so strong and fierce. Well, close enough. I reach up to touch his hair and my hand brushes against one of his horns. He moans softly. I guess that must be his sensitive spot.
Kuya, it feels silly to say this out loud, but do you remember when I accidentally touched your chest?
Of course I do. It's hard for me to forget.
Me too. Well, I was thinking, since I got... Oh, wow. Since I got to touch yours, it's only fair that you get to touch mine. I mean, if you want to.
I'd love to, but I can't.
Oh, is that a... No, he's tied up, silly. Is that a Moonforester rule or something?
No, it's because my wrists are tied up.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I almost completely forgot.
It's okay, I like it.
Goodness, should I leave them tied then? Unfortunately.
Oh, this game.
Our time together gets cut short by an unwelcome appearance, stomping through the trees to find us.
Oh no.
What is it? Is it Caro?
It's gonna be the boar, isn't it? Worse. The Razorback with... Oh, no, in her head.
The Razorback with its bloody eye and deadly tusks has found us again. I take out my dagger and slice open Kuya's bindings. It would have been fun to leave them on, but that time has passed. I slide my greatsword out of its sheath. There aren't a lot of visible escape routes, but maybe I can hold this thing off long enough for Kuya to get to safety. I have to try.
Rosemary, what are we gonna do?
It's okay, just stay behind me. What in the name of Goddess are you two doing? I've been waiting long enough.
As if the situation weren't bad enough. Caro comes wandering cluelessly out to find us, but stops short once she sees the Razorback. We watch in horror as the Razorback, distracted by the sudden sound, charges at Caro.
Caro!
Kuya claws bared and snarling, lunges toward the beast, but I stop him with a hand.
Kuya, wait, I've got a plan. But you've got to get yourself to safety. Let me handle this myself, alright?
Kuya hesitates a moment, then relents. He smiles and kisses me softly before hurrying away. While I make a noise to draw the Razorback's attention, Kuya sneaks through the trees towards Caro. I hope this works. The Razorback snorts and stamps at the snow. It lowers its head to charge. That's it. I sheath my sword and wait. For this to work, I have to let the Razorback get real close. Here it comes.
What happened?
I remembered it all at once. The Razorback's strange secret weakness.
Huh? What is it? Did you kill it instantly by stabbing the one weak spot or something?
She probably tickled it. Not even close. The Razorback isn't a naturally aggressive animal unless you scare it or hurt it badly like we did. Otherwise it's pretty tame. The way you calm it down is by rubbing its ears, which are very sensitive and velvety soft too. I knew it. Of course the problem is figuring out how to rub its ears while it's charging and ready to rip you to shreds. I guess I got lucky.
I shift my grip and rub the Razorback's ear tenderly between my thumb and forefinger. It shudders all over and lets out a low hum of pleasure. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it was purring.
Yeah, we're not gonna get in any trouble from this cutie anymore. Isn't that funny? It seems so scary, but all it needed was a little love. Now it's a big old softie. What do you think? Should we call it Dusky?
Wow, you outsiders are terrible at naming things.
I find that I can lead the Razorback wherever I want by tugging gently on its ears. Caro's pretty bruised up. The fall knocked her out cold. Thankfully, though, she's not hurt too badly. Together, we lift her unconscious body onto the Razorback and head off for Starlight City. Knowing Caro is gonna be okay, Kuya relaxes. He puts his arm around my waist, resting his head on my shoulder. How do they know she's gonna be okay? I don't know. Maybe they don't get comas. They're too big and tough. The sun. I said comas. I was thinking of concussions, but same difference. The dumbest phrase in the world, whatever. The sun is just starting to set and it's getting colder, but with Kuya leaning into me, I feel warm and safe. The mixture of romance and not breathing as much because I'm talking is getting me lightheaded and making me say dumb things like same difference.
You know, Rosemary, there's an old moon forester fable that goes kind of like this. The great hunter goes to save his lady love from a fierce dragon, but instead of killing it, he ends up taming the dragon, so together they can fly home on its back. What I'm trying to say is, if I thought you might make a good hunter before, I know it now. You'd be the best of them all, I think.
It's a very nice thing to say, but it makes me feel sad more than anything. It's Kuya who desperately wanted to be like the great hunters, not me.
When I came to Mount Needle, I wanted to prove something. I'd make it to Starlight City all by myself, maybe even slay some ferocious beasts along the way. I was tired of everyone thinking of me as weakling. For some stupid reason, I thought this adventure could fix that. But when I met you, I realized something. There is no shame in being weaker than someone like you, right, Rosemary? I guess what I'm saying is, I don't mind being protected if you're the one protecting me.
That's when I realize that I don't want to say goodbye once this job is over. I want to stay by his side. I want to be his champion. It's been a strange and surprising journey, but against all odds, Prince Kuya has become precious to me. I knew it was a dating sim coming into this. I don't know why I'm suddenly averse to romance, but whatever. They're both still adorable, and I love all the characters. I lean in to kiss him. His arms tighten around my waist.
Rosemary, I am royalty. I have the power to dub you a knight. Knew it. She's a knight now. From now on, will you be my knight?
It would be my honor, Prince Kuya.
Cute, 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 cute.
Shortly before we arrive in Starlight City, send the razorback off into the woods. I'll miss that big old cutie pie. Kara wakes up shortly after. She's upbeat and energetic, if a bit sore. Soon we're in the city, which is just as beautiful and overwhelming as I imagined it would be.
Dearest Rosemary, she's actually in the middle. Dearest Rosemary, I must thank you. You risked life and limb to save us both. It is safe to say you've gone above and beyond what Kuya hired you to do. And once again, I can't apologize enough for my brother's behavior. Please don't cast all Moon Foresters in with his lot. It's okay. I was happy to help you both. And Kuya already apologized to me, so, you know, it's all good.
Kuya and I smile at each other and blush. Karo notices this and sighs heavily.
Well, if this outstanding woman can find it in her heart to forgive you, Kuya, I suppose I can too.
She's 2D when she turns around.
You've made it this far. Would you like to join me at the council this year? As long as you're seen and not heard, of course. I don't know. I'm not sure what I want anymore. I think right now, I'd just like to go home. I wouldn't mind showing Rosemary around Moonforest too. I mean, if you'd want to.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm sure it would be wonderful, but also quite impossible. Kuya, don't put any more foolish ideas into this poor girl's head. You know as well as I do that outsiders are not allowed to visit Moonforest except in emergency circumstances. You being love-struck is hardly an emergency circumstance.
What? But I'm a prince. That means I get to make the rules, right? I want Rosemary to come with me. You are a prince.
Oh, Vector, you're a prince who is on thin ice, and you know it. Don't push your luck. An outsider visit is out of the question, and that's absolutely final. So, this is goodbye then?
I hadn't been thinking about our future, but I guess I should have seen this coming. Moonforest is completely isolated and secretive after all. There's no way they would have just let me come waltzing in for no reason.
If Rosemary can't come home with me, then I'm not coming home.
What? What?
Karo, you know that I am not happy at home. No one is happy with me either. Maybe the palace just isn't the right place for me. Rosemary travels all over the land going on adventures and learning things. That's what I want to do too. I know I'm not a great hunter. I never will be. But maybe I could at least try something new and learn something, maybe? I can't do that at home. And it'd be worth it just to be with Rosemary.
You guys just met.
Besides, you know I'll be safe with her. You've seen how amazing she is.
That's true.
I know I'm weak, but I'll be okay, as long as I'm with her. You can trust Rosemary with my life. I promise. Right?
He looks at me with that big hopeful smile. I smile back, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up. It all sounds too good to be true. To my surprise, Karo smiles at us too.
You're more mature than I thought, Kuya. Rosemary, would you swear on your honor to keep my brother safe in your travels, and perhaps let him come home to visit once in a while?
My heart leaps, and for a moment I'm too excited to know what to say.
Yes, of course. I'm sworn to protect Kuya on my honor as his knight.
Very well then. Take good care of him. Kuya, you might find it hard to believe, but I will miss you. I'll miss you too, Karo.
We say our goodbyes and Karo leaves to attend the council alone. Now it's just me and Kuya, alone together, free to make our own future.
It's just you and me now. What should we do first?
It's funny to hear you ask for my advice for once.
Sorry, how's this? Lovely outsider, tell me what we should do now, please.
Well, there's a lot we could do. I was thinking of traveling to the Western Islands next. Of course, before we go, I'd like to give you some sword fighting lessons.
That sounds great and all. It does, but I was thinking that maybe we could just, take a break first?
That sounds perfect.
Cute. I love her face when she picks him up.
I take his hand in mine, and together we walk through the city, ready for our next adventure.
That's the end. Thank you for playing Rose of Winter.
And thank you guys for joining me. That was super fun. That was just too good. And the music's by Toby Fox, which, if you guys bits that I do. Let me know. If not, I'll just do them by myself. I'm okay